If you want to work, study, or do vocational training in Germany, you need to have your high school certificate or degrees recognized. Recognition is crucial, it's important, you can't skip it. In my previous video, I talked about the 3 ways that you can get your documents recognized. There's the Anabin database, there's the ZAB website, and there are also the competent authorities. In today's video, we'll be looking at the Anabin database together and seeing how you can use it to check whether your documents are recognized. Hi, my name is Tusile. I am from Caribou, Germany, where I help internationals navigate the complex world of relocating to Germany. So today's video is about Anabin, and we'll be focusing first on those who have an academic title, meaning you have a master's or a bachelor degree, and later in this video, I'll focus on those who have a high school certificate and want to study or do ausbildung in Germany. So you have a degree and you want to apply for jobs in Germany. First of all, it's important to understand how the German professions are split up. German professions are split up into non-regulated and regulated professions. Regulated professions have a very specific recognition procedure. So how do you know whether your profession is regulated or not? There's a website known as Anerkennung in Deutschland, and in English it's recognition in Germany. And on this website you can type in your reference profession, and then it will let you know whether it's regulated or not, and it will also let you know what the steps are that you can take for recognition, whether the Anabin database is enough or you have to go through even more extensive procedure. If the website doesn't work for you because you actually don't know what your profession would be, and I understand how that can be, like certain degrees are not so specific. There is a list from the EU Commission website, and on this list they have all the professions that are regulated. In Germany it's a bit extensive, but you can take your time to check whether there's certain professions that your degree would apply to that are regulated. However, as a summary, regulated professions are those that are in healthcare, law, teachers, and consultant engineers. So if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to teach somewhere at a high school, at a primary school, physiotherapist, those are regulated professions, and you really need to go through a very specific recognition procedure, and I'll do a video on that as well for those who have regulated professions, how that would look like. But if you have a non-regulated profession, then the Anabin database is sufficient for you. So let's jump in and look at the Anabin database together. It's only in German, so that's why I'm also doing this video. I'll also show you a trick on how you can check it in English, but you need to print out the statements in German, so this video will be of great help to you. This is the Anabin database website. As you can see, it's in German, and that's why I'm doing this video, to explain how to navigate the website and get the information that you need. As you can see here on our left corner, we have the start site and the 2 points that we need to look into: the degree and also the institution. It's important that you look at both, the degree being recognized and that the institution is accredited. Here there's also a bit more explanations in German about how they evaluated and the recognition process when you want to work or when you just have a and whether you want to find if your higher education institute is recognized in Germany. You can of course translate here into English to maybe understand better what all this is about. However, when you're going into the details of the university degrees or institutions, you need to go back to the German, because the document that you need to submit as part of your visa needs to be in the original language. So we'll just continue in German. So we're going to click on Hochschulabschlüsse, which are the degrees, and you need to select a country. I'm going to select Zambia, but you see that there's a wide range of countries that are represented here globally. So we're going to go for Zambia. And of course, the countries are written in German, so Zambia is with an S. And we filtered for that country, and we can already also filter for the degree type. So in this case, I'll just select a bachelor, and then I will go and select accountancy. You see that sometimes there's two, like there's double, there are two of the same
degree program, and I noticed that some of them do not produce any results. So when you get that, you just go on to the next one, and that one would give you the required results. So here we have Bachelor of Accountancy, and here we see that it's actually not been evaluated. So we have no idea whether it's recognized or not, but we can know from here that the Copperbelt University and the University of Lusaka, they have this degree and these institutes are recognized as this H+, but the degree itself has not been evaluated. So in this case, I would already recommend that you go ahead and submit to ZAB for your degree to be evaluated, to be compared as comparable. So then we'll select another one. In this case, I'll select Business Administration. So I was just showing you the other example. In case you come across that, then you know what it means. Here, Bachelor of Business Administration, we see the keyword Bewertung. This is what we didn't have in the previous one. And it says entspricht, meaning that it is recognized, it is equivalent. And on top of that, we also have the institutes that are accredited to do these programs as well. So there's quite a long list here. And this is the one, if you have a bachelor degree in business administration, and it says entspricht, which is equivalent. And if the institute where you got it is among this list, then you can print this out and submit it to be part of your application. You can also, of course, save it to PDF on your desktop and print it at a later time. But then you have the proof for your degree type. So then imagine if I got this Bachelor of Administration from a university that was not on the list. So here we see that all these universities are listed, but what if I got my degree from the university, what if I got from a university that's not on this list? That would mean that I would have to still submit to ZAB as well, because the institute that I got it from is not listed here. The next step that you need to do once you have your degree sorted out and you have this printout is, of course, to just go to the institute itself. If you don't want to be comparing too much, you can already come here. Of course, it's already filtered for Zambia, and you can say countrywide unless you want to select the certain region where you studied, and you can also select the type of institution, but I would leave all these filters out because it just makes it easy. And you see that the whole thing is listed alphabetically, and this is what I meant. You see that Copperbelt Secondary Teachers College, maybe if I did business administration there, this university has H-, which means it's not accredited. So that would mean that I would need to submit my document to ZAB for extra evaluation. Same applies with this one. It's not accredited. All the other ones which H+ are accredited universities. So you have the whole list, and you can show even up to 100 on the page. And I think in total we only have 36. So you can alphabetically look. So University of Zambia is recognized, but you noticed previously the University of Zambia was not on the list of the places where business administration was recognized. So again, that will mean that I'll have to go through the extra process. So just so that we can finalize the step, filtered for Zambia, and if I select bachelor and then business administration, you see that it's equivalent and entspricht, but only from these universities. And if I got it from the University of Zambia, then it would mean that I need to actually send an application to ZAB. And I'll make a video on that as well. So that is the gist of it. I would also say that sometimes the word that you find is not entspricht, but maybe gleichwertig. So for example, we looked at engineering as well, and you see again the word entspricht I was looking also for the word gleichwertig, but I've not been able to find that. Most of the degrees that I've been able to look into, I noticed that they actually haven't been evaluated so far, but the universities that are accredited to give these degree types are listed there, but then there is no evaluation. So that's mainly it, whether your degree is as a bachelor or master's is recognized and whether you can just apply to German markets directly. So yes, there's a bit of searching that you need to do, but overall those are the steps that you need to follow. So here master, see again entspricht, and then it also doesn't say exactly which universities are the ones that are giving these study programs. But the keyword is entspricht, and for the institutes, the key thing to look for is this H+ in the list here. And again, once you have it, you print it out and save it to be part of your application for the embassy visa.
Okay, so that was the part for those who have a degree, and now I'm going to focus on you guys who have a high school certificate. So if you have a high school certificate and you want to come to Germany to study or to do vocational training, then there's also a section on the Anabin database where you can check whether your high school certificate allows you to do that. And I also want to mention here that there's another website called DAD, and this one has a database as well in English, not as extensive as the Anabin database, but it's a great starting point for you as well.
So this is the Anabin database, the start site, and if you want to check whether your high school diploma or certificate allows you to study in Germany, you need to go here in the left corner, which says Schulabschlüsse mit Hochschulzugang, which practically means that school certificates that allow you to study in universities in Germany. So again, what I filtered for before, Zambia is there, and it shows us here which certificates allow you and what study that you're allowed to do. So when you have these two certificates, you can study a bachelor in a German university. So when you click here, you can see also the conditions. Again, these are in German, but if we were to translate them to English, then you could understand better whether what you have applies. So here are the conditions, which are very important. And here the conditions say that you have 5 independent subjects with credit. And among the subjects, 2 should be languages and a mathematical subject. And if you desire to study outside humanities, you also need to prove only 1 language among the 5 independent ones. So here it also says you can study in all German universities. So then you can go back. So if you have those qualifications, then you are good to go. If you have 5 credits, if you have 5 subjects with 5 credits, then you can apply directly to a German university with the Zambia school certificate. If you did GCE, this is also what it says again, 5 independent subjects with credit and 2 languages and 1 mathematical or scientific subject. So this allows you to study at all the universities. And for those who where it's more direct, you need to show that you have studied for 1 year. So like if you want to apply for a specific program, you need to show already that you study at least 1 year in your country of origin. At least that's what I understand it to be. But in general, you see that Zambian high school certificates do allow you an access to study at a bachelor level in Germany. If we'd select another country, let's just say Namibia, for example, they would also give you the different. Here you see that it's quite complicated for the different years. There seems to be there was quite a change there. So here, if you were to have this one, it also says you should have 4 and one of them should be English in a high level and one ordinary level. And the high level should have at least a knot of 3 and the ordinary level should have a knot of C. And you're also allowed access to all the universities and the same thing there. So yeah, overall, you can see that the high school diploma certificates do allow you to study at a German university at a bachelor level. This is the other website that I talked about that you can see you can filter for English or German. Mine's already filtered for English, and this is the database on admission requirements. So again, we choose Namibia. So it has the similar ones as before, 97 or later, the same sort of things that we saw on Anabin, but just in English. So if we were to select a similar one, I think we selected this one, and it said this is the highest certificate. So that's the thing, no periods of study, or if you've already completed one successful year. If you've completed one successful year, it says these are the options that you have. You can join all the degree programs or international programs in Germany, or you can go for the main subjects already. But if you've just got your high school degree, then these are the periods of study. So it says you qualify for general administration to a preparatory course. And then if we were to check for the same in Zambia, let's see, then the filters have been reset. If you just have Zambia school certificate and you have not studied at all, again, general administration to a preparatory course or university qualification exam. And this is also the same. I think it also says, here it also says for administration, you have 5 independent with credits, 2 of them language. So it's the same thing that we saw before, but here directly in English. So it's much easier, but like I said, the website may not be as extensive as Anabin, but it's a great starting point for those who want to have an idea already. Then student colleagues at the preparatory courses. So then you can also find out more information about that. What does that mean? And so on. So this is a great website for you to get to know more about how you can come and study in Germany. There's also the ones I talked about that would be helpful for those, like the website startinggermany.de. This one gives you all the information that you need to know about studying in Germany. And then if you need assistant, there's also Uni Assistant in English that also lets you know about how to apply. And these are really a great support for you.
I want to also really clarify that ultimately with high school certificates, whether you want to study or do an Ausbildung, vocational training, you would eventually have to ask your university or the institute where you want to study, or the organization where you want to do your Ausbildung, what the procedure would look like. Most likely you still have to apply or send your documents to the local authorities, the authorities at the state level, and then they will issue a notice saying that this person can actually study at all the universities. They can study in all the programs or in only certain programs or not at all. That is the same thing they'll also issue a notice for your Ausbildung, whether you can do the Ausbildung directly or if you need to do a few more years of high school, so to say. So eventually you need to contact the actual places where you want to study. For those who want to study, there's something known as Uni Assist, and they definitely help you out with these complexities as well. So do check out their website. The link is in the description. So that is it for today. I hope this video was informative for both those who want to work and those who want to study or do vocational training. And please comment, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.